As a father, I wouldn't sit back and take too lightly to seeing my son play with another young man or else my daughter play with another young lady, and I'll let what I watch play out between those two slide. Because I can remember being a little kid myself, and the things that I would see from two adults, whether it be on TV or whether it be I'm just witnessing it, and I'm sure the other kids too probably, had the same experience. We would play a game called House with one another, and we'll try to sit back and we'll try to reenact exactly what we seen play out before our eyes, hoping that when we do this action, it will elicit the same response that we witness from these two physical adults in our life, whether it be mother and father or so on and so forth, and how what we seen on TV. And we'll try it out on one another. And obviously, as kids, we're pretty ignorant to what's going on. So we just pretty much just copy and mimic everything that we see an adult do. Because, as a kid, you quietly kept, you want to be an adult. You want to do what an adult does. And you see what everything that adult does is pretty cool. You look up to the adults. That's why it's very important that the adults, they pay attention to what they do around the children, because, the children are watching, whether you think they are or not. The children are watching. They are listening to everything you're saying. And at that young age, they are a sponge. So they're soaking everything up. And it's crazy because as I'm looking at this question, I'm thinking to myself, like, that's pretty strange. That's pretty odd that two little girls, they are rubbing nose together. And I'm sure people that may be listening to this may say to themselves, well, the two little girls is pretty innocent, it's pretty harmless. If that's the way that they greet each other, that's the way that they greet each other. There's nothing wrong with that. But you have to take into account that other child, that your child may be playing with or friends with, you don't know how their mom and dad is actually raising them in the house. You don't know what they're seeing with their eyes. You don't know what they're hearing with their ears, whether it be they're witnessing it from two adults that's raising them, the parent or guardian, or whether they're seeing it on TV. And then when they come together with your child, they'll try it out on your child, hoping that they get the same response from your child that they seen, whether it be a parent or guardian, or whether it be what they seen on TV. And now when your child comes home, your child is acting funny. They're acting a certain way. They're acting uncharacteristic. You don't really know exactly where that came from. You're kind of like, wow, I really don't even know who taught you that or where you got that from. So it's very important that you sit back and you monitor what the children is doing, and you don't take lightly how they greet each other, how they play with one another. I mean, take it from my parents. My parents, whenever they let me have a little, male friend over, we playing, we having fun. One of my buddies from school or else summer camp or else around the block or something like that. We playing, whether in my bedroom or we're playing outside on the back porch. My mom and dad, they would always have me to keep my doors open. They would never tell me to close my doors. And I would notice that my mother and father, whoever's at home at the time, or whether both of them, they'll be sitting down. They'll have the TV cut down. They wouldn't have it up loud. They'll have it cut down, and they'll always keep walking past the door, checking on me, calling my name, making sure I'm okay, making sure the young man is okay as well. But they was always involved. They never just let me play and they'll go off to another part of the house and then take their mind completely off of me, where me and my friend will just get away with murder and do whatever we all want to do as kids. Because as kids, we're very curious at that age. Very curious at that age, and our minds run wild. And if you don't have an adult there actually orchestrating it, moderating us, we'll do any and everything, and we'll get away with murder. And as a child, you'll just see us as pure and innocent, and it's just two little boys playing at that age, and or two little girls playing, and they need to be around each other at that age because, hey, they can develop a long term, a long time friendship, a bond together, but not really taking into account some of the things that child has been probably taught or heard or seen. they're passing that stuff on to your child, and the damage is being done at that young age to the point when they get old enough, then you'll be like, oh, that's what that was leading to. So instead of waiting until they get old to realize the signs, realize the signs very young now. Really be in your child's life. Really sit there and pull your child to the side and say, hey, where did you get that from? The touching, the rubbing of the nose. Sit there and listen to your child. Ask them questions. See where their little brain is at. Like, really pay attention to that, take into account, because you never know, what type of things that child is being taught. Because, our children, nowadays they go to school, daycare, summer camp, after school programs, if that stuff even still exists. Um, and they're getting into some of any and everything. And the parents is at work, try to make a living, and the parents come home, tired, not really able to really be involved in the child's life, and the child is just picking up so much stuff. The child is being raised from TV. The child is being raised by these teachers, by these daycare workers, and whatever these people that are over your children, whatever their ideologies are, their doctrines are, whatever their schooling is, whatever, how they feel that the child should be listening to and adhering to, they're teaching these children. They're passing that stuff on through these other kids. In some of these households with these parents, they don't really pay attention to their child like that. They don't really care about their child like that. They're not really focused on their child like that. Their attention is split on something else. And then your child ends up becoming friends with that child, and then boom, that child gets into some stuff at a very young age that later on in life, it sets them up for something that as a parent is out of your control. So it's very important that you pay attention to them right now. But other than that, I mean, that's something that I'll do. I will walk back and forth. I'll sit down. I will ask my daughter questions. I'll pull her to the side and ask her, where did she get that from? And matter of fact, I will also pull her little friend into the room too and sit them both down and ask them, where did they get them from? Where did they hear that from? Why do they feel that that is okay to rub noses with each other as a greeting? Did they see that on TV? Was that a cartoon? Was that one of these Disney or Nickelodeon shows that they seen that from? Where did they get that from? Who taught them that that was okay? And I'll sit down and I'll talk to them and I'll explain to them the right way that they should actually greet one another. And then I'll also sit down with the parents and have a very respectful conversation with them to pick the parents' brain to see that, does the parents know that that's how your daughter greets my daughter, and it's the parent is okay? And based off that conversation, I'll make up my mind on whether those two should still be friends or not. But other than that, that's how I would handle this. But I understand this is your child, and you have all say so in how you would handle that situation. But like I said, this is just my opinion. So other than that, see you next video.